Out of all the information that's getting disclosed, supposedly this administration, what do you have the least faith that we're going to come to
Epstein,
a conclusion?
for sure.
Epstein.
And I think it's because of Israel. I think
Really?
that because I mean, when you really dig into Epstein, his entire network was Israel. It was clearly like Ehud Barak was the ex-prime minister and the ex-head of Israeli intelligence. Leslie Wexner was one of the most powerful pro-Israeli philanthropists. The whole organization was Israel.
So
and I'm not saying it was all of Israel.
It was all an intelligence gathering, and
it was targeting Americans. It was targeting American officials and the American president.
Right.
And the CIA does have interest in those targets too. Elements in the CIA does. Certainly they had help from the CIA, and certainly they had help from these other organized crime and intelligence operations. But you don't, like, so for example, Dan Bongino, the new, deputy director of the FBI, he recently had this clip that went all around where he said on camera that he had a source that he trusted deeply. And he's an informed guy. He was at a Fox News interview, and the source told him that Epstein was working for an intelligence agency in the Middle East. And I don't know which one, but someone in the Middle East. And to be fair, we all already knew this. We already know who he worked for. At least I think so. But I'm looking at, okay, Dan, so if this giant group of Jewish billionaires is running a sex trafficking operation targeting American politicians and business people and stuff, you think they're working with an Arab or Muslim nation in the Middle East? Like, you think that Leslie Wexner is devoting his entire life to philanthropies on behalf of Israel, but then he's going to work for Saudi Arabia when he's doing this trafficking ring?
Right. But if someone says to him that they're all working for a country in the Middle East, knowing he knows what that means, but not specifying, doesn't he kind of have to repeat it that same way?
Well, he also has to repeat it the same way because he won't get the job if he says Israel.
Exactly.
Because Israel has
Right.
so much control over our government right now. And I'm not saying that all Jews are in on something. Clearly, internet. Thank you.
Internet.
And Joe is definitely not saying that.
Definitely not.
But the Israel's government is every bit as vulnerable to the deep state effect as the American government. But I would argue that Israel's government is way more vulnerable to it because of the people that founded Israel and the way it was founded. It was founded in a modern time, much more recently, by, like, it was a revolutionary founding. And I can totally sympathize with the Jewish desire to have that state. Like, I get it. But because of the way that happened, the people that founded Israel were a bunch of organized crime figures in America, the Jewish mob, that were helping with money and with arms trafficking to get the guns there because they had to have guns. And it was the Rothschild banking family sending a whole bunch of money and getting the declaration in the first place. And then the people that were there, the three different organizations, the Irgun, the Lehi group, and the Haganah, those were the three like paramilitary groups that fought to found Israel, and they're like the heroes of Israel, which I understand the narrative that they're heroes, but when Israel was officially founded, they officially designated Irgun and Lehi as terrorist organizations because they had been bombing civilians. They'd been bombing British civilians. The first official act of terror before they changed the definition was the bombing of the King David Hotel, where these terrorists, these Lehi and Irgun terrorists, a bunch of different groups, the guy who planned that bombing later became the prime minister of Israel. They were bombing civilians. And like, so when those are the groups that are fighting to found that nation, even if all the Jews there are wonderful people, the leadership is inherently composed of these people that have been deeply corrupt for all time.
What we're seeing now is we're seeing clearly who is above the law. There are people that can do whatever the fuck they want. We're seeing it now. It used to be a myth, conspiracy theory, but we're seeing it now. Who is above the law? With all this is going on with Epstein and all that, and we're seeing how the media is backing them up too. How interesting is that? If that's all just a distraction to like get people arguing, make it so obvious that it wasn't a suicide. It's so obvious. Let's release it, make it so obvious. Meanwhile, he's still alive, and everyone's trying to figure out how he died, and all they care about is that he's dead. There's virtually a media blackout on it for the longest time, but they gotta talk about something because the longer the mainstream media doesn't talk about it, the more obvious it looks, and it's waking everybody up. You know how many people who are super anti-conspiracy theorists, they're all into Epstein now. It's like when 9/11 happened, that woke up a lot of people. 9/11 woke people up. A lot of people say, well, it started with 9/11. A lot of people are going to say it started with Jeffrey Epstein. People that hate conspiracy theorists are all into it. They're all,
Michael Shermer.
I'm so balls deep, and there's a guy on YouTube who every day he puts out, all he does is, he's written books on gangsters and all that. And every day he puts out a Epstein video, an update, and he just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. His name is Sean Atwood.
What's the update every day, though?
Dude, It would take me 2 hours to go into. It's really all about Ghislaine Maxwell's father. He was the one who was originally doing what Epstein was doing. Epstein started banging Ghislaine. She takes him. She goes, you know what? You're going to take over the family business. The family business is not just blackmailing the elite. That's a part of it. But
a big part of it, right?
You know
a big
what?
part of it.
Dude, her father, he's the one, Robert Maxwell. That guy was I think they're just
I don't mean to call you
distracting
crazy.
everybody. It wasn't a suicide. The amount of deception that's shoved down our throats, it's obvious now, it's all out in the open. So any plausible theory, you can't laugh at.
Dude, he's
You know
in
what I mean?
Thailand.
He could easily be
I agree.
alive. Why did they need to show 9,000 jumpsuits and shit?
Look at all those
Like, come
jumpsuits.
on, man. Dude, it's so obvious. The craziest thing is like, where's the video footage? Oh, the cameras weren't working.
Oh, no. Did you see?
That's
not
the
see-
craziest
did you
shit
not
ever.
see the-
Wouldn't you think it would be a good idea to all get together and say, listen, every now and then some dude's we're gonna have to sacrifice one of you guys and just fake your death, and then you're gonna have to go to one of the islands in Japan or they probably have so many spots set up. Wouldn't it be smart? Go set up some spots in like the Greek islands or somewhere like off the coast of Norway, Greenland. Greenland could, who knows what's in Greenland? They could have all these cities for like all these people that they die, but you never see their bodies. They could just say, people used to fake their deaths all the time back in the
but
30s and
here's-
40s.
Yeah, but
They
that was
used to
before
fake
the
their
internet. It'd be
I
way
know.
easier to just kill Epstein.
Way easier.
You don't think he has a kill switch? It was tight with the royal
We're going to
family.
the trap house. What?
That's right.
The trap house? Who?
Try this.
Epstein.
Try some of this
Where
shit.
are we?
Epstein.
Oh, this
Well,
young
not only
woman.
Epstein was tied with the royal family,
tight.
but Jimmy Savile as well. So, I mean, they
Epstein
were both.
was?
Yeah.
Maria Farmer, I think she was the chick who was working the front desk at his office in Manhattan. She was literally on video saying that all this shit about Bill Clinton on the jet, going to the island, hanging out with Trump and all this stuff. And the right-wing people, like people I know, my parents and like older folks I know in Florida, will say, she came out, thank you for exposing Bill Clinton for being a pedo and doing all this stuff. And Virginia Giuffre, after this happened, she's like, you guys didn't listen to the whole fucking tape. She's like, I was telling you that Trump was at the penthouse 3 days a week and visiting him, but you guys don't want to hear that. And it's like, it's just this weird thing. Like, if you do the math, it's got to be so many high level, powerful people that are somehow compromised.